I always had a feeling my brother would try to crush my dreams. What I didn't expect was how shameless he'd be about it. Maybe this was the confirmation I needed. Caleb's smug grin earlier that morning flashed through my mind as I tore my room apart for the third time. My passport had to be here. I'd checked it last night, twice. I'd tucked it inside my travel folder just yesterday. Triple-checked everything before I went to bed. And now, less than 48 hours before my flight to Paris, it had completely vanished. I'm Iris, and for 19 years, I've been the family letdown. Not because I messed up, but because I refused to shrink. I dreamed too loud, asked for too much, and worst of all, I never bought into the idea that Caleb was the golden boy our family revolved around. "Mom," I called, forcing my voice to sound normal. "Have you seen my passport?" "Sweetheart, you probably misplaced it." Mom's voice floated up from downstairs, soaked in that syrupy condescension she reserved just for me. "You know how disorganized you get when you're anxious?" In the mirror, I saw Caleb leaning against my door frame, arms crossed, his mouth curled in that irritating half-smile. "You know, Iris," Caleb said with a smirk, lounging in my doorway like he owned the world, "maybe this is God's way of telling you to stay put. Not everyone's meant to go international, you know." The full-ride scholarship letter sitting on my desk practically screamed otherwise. Prestigious global policy fellowship, hand-picked from over 5,000 applicants. I hadn't told anyone until the acceptance was locked in. Deep down, I knew what would happen the moment they found out. "I earned it," I said, my voice tight, my hands trembling as I ransacked the drawer again. "Why is it so hard for you to just be proud of me for once?" "Of course I'm happy for you," Caleb said, stepping into my room uninvited, like always. "I just worry, you know? Remember your science fair model? Shame how it went up in flames the night before. Or that dress you were obsessed with. Crazy how bleach got on it. You've always had the worst luck." My jaw tightened. We both knew those weren't accidents. Just like this passport mess wasn't bad luck. It was sabotage. "Iris!" Dad's voice thundered from below. "Family meeting. Now." I followed Caleb down the hall into our showroom perfect living room, where Mom and Dad were already seated, like two judges, prepared to hand down a sentence. Mom's cross necklace flashed in the lamplight as she patted the couch beside her. "Sweetheart, let's talk about this Paris thing, okay?" "There's nothing to discuss," I said, refusing to sit. "I earned this, and I'm going, with or without your blessing." Dad arched a brow. "Be reasonable, Iris. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe you're just not ready." "I'm more than ready." Caleb jumped in, his voice already cracking with those pathetic crocodile tears. "She's just bitter because I got the church position first. She's been trying to outshine me ever since I became youth coordinator. Now she's pretending her passport vanished, just for the drama." "I'm not lying," I said, even as Mom pulled Caleb into a hug like he was some wounded hero, giving me that look. The one that said I was the problem. Again. "Iris," Mom said gently, "sometimes when God closes a door, it's for your own good. Don't you remember what Pastor Greg said about being content where you are?" Something inside me shifted, not a break, more like a click, a door unlocking, a decision made. "You're right," I said softly, watching their faces light up. "Maybe I should pray on it." "That's my girl," Dad said, smiling like I'd finally come to my senses. "I just need a little space," I added, turning toward the stairs before they could say more. "Of course, sweetie," Mom called. "I'll bring you some tea in a bit." Back in my room, I locked the door behind me and grabbed my phone. My hands were steady now. "Plan A is on," I texted Jamal. He responded instantly. "Spare passport's ready. You sure you're doing this?" I glanced out the window. Across the backyard, Caleb was in his room, FaceTiming with his little fan club, probably spinning a fresh tale about my latest meltdown. He saw me watching and gave a mocking little wave. I thought about the years of quiet sabotage, The casual cruelty, the gaslighting, the praise Caleb got for doing the bare minimum while I was expected to be invisible. They thought I'd always be the quiet, obedient daughter who would eventually break and settle for the shadows. They had no idea what was coming for them. Absolutely sure, I texted back. See you at 5 a.m. I heard footsteps on the stairs. Mom, probably with that peace offering tea. Time to act like the broken girl they expected for the last time. After tomorrow, they'd learn the truth. Some doors slammed shut for a reason, and underestimating me? That was their fatal mistake. I wiped my face, schooled my features into something tragic. Let them think I'd given up. In under 48 hours, they'd learn the one thing they never saw coming. I wasn't theirs to contain anymore. Mom's tea sat on my nightstand, untouched and cold, while I buried my face in the pillow and fake cried just loud enough to be convincing. Through the thin wall, I could hear Caleb's voice, overly dramatic as always, oozing pity into his phone. I just feel awful for her, he was saying. She's always been so delicate, mentally, I mean. I checked the time, 9:47 p.m. It was time to flip the script. I shuffled downstairs slowly, dragging my feet just enough to sound broken. Mom? Dad? Can we talk for a second? They were in their standard formation. Dad reclined, remote in hand, Mom with her devotional open like a shield. They exchanged that familiar look, the one they saved for when I was being too much again. Of course, honey, Mom said, patting the couch cushion beside her. We've been worried sick. I sat down slowly, phone in hand like a tether to the truth. I need to ask something. Have either of you seen my passport? The one I lost months ago? Dad's head jerked up. Months ago? What are you talking about? Oh, I said softly, letting my voice shake. I guess I never told you. I lost it in March, right after I got the scholarship notice. I was too ashamed to say anything. Mom's expression hardened. March? But you just got the scholarship letter last week. Not exactly, I said, pulling up my inbox. The offer came in February. I just didn't know how to tell you. So you've been lying, Dad said, rising slowly, fury creeping into his voice. Just like how you're pretending no one took my passport, I snapped. Caleb appeared in the doorway, right on schedule. How dare you? Caleb barked. Mom, Dad, she's just shifting blame again, like always. I'm not an idiot, I said, standing now. You've been sabotaging me for years. The science fair? Saw you with the matches. My prom dress? You ran that load of laundry right before the bleach accident. Don't even pretend. You're being paranoid, Caleb said, tears conveniently welling. Mom, do something, he cried. Iris, Mom's voice snapped sharp. You apologize to your brother this instant. No, I said flatly. I'm done apologizing for existing. That's enough, Dad thundered, slamming his hand on the table. Go to your room until you can speak like an adult. I turned to leave, but stopped. You know what's funny? When I lost my passport back in March, I filed for a replacement the next day. 6 to 8 weeks, they said. Silence. That was 5 months ago, I added. Plenty of time for a new one to arrive, if no one intercepted it. Mom turned pale. Caleb froze. You're bluffing, he whispered. I pulled out my phone, pulled up the photo. Here's me at the passport office, March 15th. Here's the receipt. And the tracking number showing it was delivered in May. If you already have one, Dad said carefully. Where is it? I smiled. Somewhere you'll never find it. You ungrateful little... Caleb lunged at me, but Mom grabbed his arm. Iris, Mom said, voice tight. If you're planning something reckless. Reckless like chasing my dreams? Or did you mean reckless like stealing your daughter's passport and playing victim? I never, Caleb began. Save it, I snapped. I don't need that passport. I don't need your validation. And I sure as hell don't need your prayers. I turned to leave. We just want what's best for you, Mom called weakly. Number? You want what's easiest for you. There's a difference. Back in my room, I locked the door, flipped open my laptop. A message from Jamal. All set for tomorrow. You holding up? I thought about the gaslighting, the "you're too sensitive" comments, the way they twisted truth like it was sport, Caleb's innocent mask, Mom's spiritual guilt trips, Dad's cold, tired sighs. Better than okay, I typed. They finally showed me exactly who they are. My phone buzzed with Caleb's frantic messages. You're making a huge mistake. Mom's crying. Dad's furious. Why do you always have to destroy everything? Caleb had texted. Don't do this to us. Don't ruin our family. I blocked his number without hesitation. Through the wall, I could hear Caleb throwing another tantrum. Footsteps followed, Mom and Dad scrambling to comfort their poor little prince. The golden boy's crown was slipping fast, and he felt it. I checked my hidden backpack again. Passport, acceptance letter, plane ticket to Paris. Everything was where it needed to be. In less than 8 hours, Jamal and I would be on the road to the airport, and there'd be no turning back. Let them enjoy their illusion a little longer. Let them believe their grip on me still held. By tomorrow, their story would be shattered beyond repair. I set my alarm. Sleep wasn't coming, but that was fine. I didn't need rest. I needed resolve. I wasn't the obedient, invisible daughter anymore. That version of me was gone. Tomorrow, they'd find out exactly what happens when you push a girl too far, and I couldn't wait to watch them realize it. At 4:45 a.m., the house was dead quiet. I was already dressed, heart pounding, mind razor sharp. I hadn't slept more than a few minutes, but adrenaline had taken over. I grabbed my backpack from the crawlspace and slung it over my shoulder. My phone buzzed. Jamal, outside in 5, you ready? I turned one last time to look at my room. 18 years packed into 4 walls, most of it a blur of silence, judgment, and pretending. The cross Mom had hung over my bed. The family photo wall, where Caleb always stood front and center like some blessed heir. The desk where I'd dreamed myself out of this life while everyone else slept peacefully in their lies. I left a single note on my pillow. Some doors are meant to stay closed. Don't come looking. I stepped over the 3rd stair. It always creaked. Some habits are survival instincts. The kitchen smelled like burnt coffee. Dad's devotional routine never missed a beat, even if everything else did. The machine bubbled like it was whispering, "Go." Now a floorboard creaked above me, my breath caught. Another step. Someone was up. I ducked behind the island just as Caleb's silhouette appeared at the top of the stairs. He shuffled groggily toward the bathroom, barely conscious. I waited, heart hammering, until the bathroom door clicked closed. My phone buzzed. Here. I crept to the front door, inching the handle with surgical precision. The hinges groaned, loudly, like they were trying to rat me out. The bathroom door flew open. "Iris!" Caleb's voice was sharp, slicing through the silence. I didn't respond. I just ran. "Mom! Dad!" Caleb screamed. "She's leaving!" Jamal's car was waiting, engine running, headlights off. I dashed across the lawn as upstairs lights flicked on like alarms. "Iris Grace James, don't you dare!" Dad's voice thundered from their bedroom window. I dove into the car. "Go, Jamal, now!" He hit the gas. My parents exploded onto the porch in their pajamas, shouting my name. I watched Dad chase after us, barefoot and furious, then stop cold in the driveway. Powerless. "Holy!" Jamal laughed, spinning us around a corner. "That was insane." "Don't slow down," I said, breathless. "They might try to follow." "Got it covered." He took a few sharp turns and pulled into a grocery store lot. Switching to my sister's car. They won't recognize it. As we moved my bags, my phone lit up like a slot machine. "Mom, come home this instant." "Dad, you're making a terrible mistake." "Caleb, I can't believe you'd betray your family like this." "Mom, we're calling the police." "Dad, your mother's crying." "Caleb, everyone's going to know what you've done." I powered it off. Their guilt couldn't reach me anymore. "You good?" Jamal asked as we hit the highway. Better than okay, I said, watching the sunrise stretch over the horizon. I'm finally free. We reached the airport just after 6. Jamal insisted on walking me to the gate. You sure? He asked. Once you're through, there's no going back. I've never been more certain in my life. I pulled him into a tight hug. Thank you for all of it. Just promise me you'll enjoy Paris. Don't spend all your time plotting revenge, okay? I grinned. Why not both? Every step toward security felt like stepping into a new life, and I wasn't looking back. Every step away from that gate loosened their grip. Less control, less guilt, less of their twisted version of love masquerading as protection. My backup passport scanned without a hitch. The TSA agent didn't even blink, like this was just another ordinary traveler, not a girl running for her life. At the gate, I finally turned my phone on. Predictably, it exploded. Hundreds of texts, missed calls, voicemails from numbers I knew by heart but no longer trusted. But what made me laugh, out loud, was Caleb's latest Instagram post. A tragic-looking selfie taken in my bedroom, no less. The caption, "Sister's Night In." Some people forget that family should come first. Comments rolled in fast. You're such a good brother. She's so ungrateful. Prayers for your family. They had no idea. I smirked and opened my dusty old Instagram account, untouched for months. One post, a photo of my boarding pass to Paris. Caption, some people don't understand that freedom comes first. Then I shut off my phone again, slipped it into my bag, and looked out the terminal window as my future pulled up in the form of an Air France Airbus. Now boarding flight 2037 to Paris, the announcement rang out. I stood, grabbed my bag, and walked straight toward the gate. No hesitation, no goodbyes. Behind me was a lifetime of being told I was too much, too loud, too driven, too difficult. Ahead of me, everything they said I'd never reach. Let Caleb keep crying for likes. Let my parents file their fake reports. Let them believe their version of my story still mattered, because the only version that mattered now was the one I'd write for myself. Paris hit me like thunder and sunlight at once. Stunning, unfamiliar, and 1,000 miles from the cage I'd just broken out of. Standing outside Charles de Gaulle Airport, I finally powered my phone back on. The texts had changed tones, from threats to bargaining to guilt. Mom, just let us know you're safe. Dad, we can still fix this. Caleb, you're being selfish. Mom's a wreck. Same script, different tone. Then a message from a number I didn't recognize. Hi Iris, I'm Eva, your mentor from the scholarship program. Look for the red scarf at arrivals. I spotted her right away, tall, poised, radiating calm, the red scarf bright against her black coat. You must be our American rebel, she said with a grin, pulling me into a hug warmer than anything I'd gotten from home in years. The team briefed me on your situation, she added gently. Don't worry, we're in your corner now. The student residence was a converted monastery in the heart of Paris. Ivy-covered stone, towering ceilings. It looked like history and possibility rolled into one. My room had a balcony that opened to a courtyard filled with international voices debating policy over espresso and passion. Orientation starts in an hour, Ava said as she helped with my bags. And heads up, they don't ease you in. The French UN ambassador is kicking things off. I must have looked shell-shocked because she laughed. Relax, she said. I read your application. You're beyond ready. The orientation hall was buzzing. Elites from across the globe, young and old, seated in clusters. I slipped into a seat near the front, doing my best to fake confidence. First up, we have a surprise edition, the director announced. Iris James from New York will present her research on digital grassroots organizing. My stomach dropped. What? Eva nudged me. Surprise! I put your name forward. You're brilliant. Go show them. As I walked up, I thought of Caleb mocking my school projects. Mom's eye rolls at my awards. Dad's shrugs. Not this time. I took a breath and began. Social media isn't just communication, it's revolution. It's how we organize, rise, and reclaim power. For 15 minutes, I had them. Every question, every challenge, I answered with fire. Even the ambassador nodded in approval. My voice wasn't just heard, it was respected. After the talk, Eva walked me around the courtyard, introducing me to every important face in the room. Iris's digital activism research is next level, she told the program director. She's not just a scholar. We're lucky to have her. My phone buzzed again. A headline from back home flashed across the screen. Small-town student's defiant journey to prestigious Paris fellowship sparks family controversy. The subheading? Local girl's escape sheds light on toxic dynamics beneath a perfect family image. The comment section was a battlefield. I know this family from church. There's more going on here. Good for her for breaking out. Who steals their sister's passport? Then I saw it. Caleb's latest grab for pity. A video, tears and all, whispering about forgiving those who abandon family. But the comments weren't buying it this time. Didn't she get some big international scholarship? Why steal a passport? Maybe she left because y'all made her. Eva leaned in. Your brother, the golden child, I murmured. Or, he used to be. Well, Eva said with a sly grin, he's about to be eclipsed. Oh, and they want to feature you in the international promo. Filming starts tomorrow morning. My hands actually trembled. It meant they'd have to see it. No more rewriting my story. My success would be broadcast. Unavoidable. No more silencing me. No more making me the scapegoat. That night I sat beneath the Paris stars, passing pasta and red wine around with scholars from every corner of the world. For the first time, I didn't feel too much. I felt right. Then a news alert. Rising Leader Award nominee announced. Iris James named Global Innovation honoree. Ava returned, champagne in hand. Congratulations, but before you celebrate too hard, check your email. An email from the program director. Your presentation was exceptional. We'd like you to deliver the keynote at next month's Global Awards ceremony. Press from every continent will be attending. I pictured Caleb's face as the news broke. My parents scrambling to explain why they'd never once mentioned me in the church bulletin. You're grinning, Eva said. I raised my glass. Just thinking about justice. She clinked her glass against mine. To justice. And to the family we build for ourselves. Under the Paris night sky, surrounded by people who saw my fire and didn't fear it, something in me settled. This wasn't just about proving them wrong anymore. It was about finally stepping into who I was meant to be. My phone buzzed again. A text from Dad. We saw the news. We should talk. I powered it off. Someone was organizing a midnight tour of the Eiffel Tower. I chose them. Let them squirm. Let them spin their stories. I was done shrinking. And now, in our special international segment, the anchor's voice boomed in my old living room. I imagined it clearly. Mom frozen, Dad speechless. Jamal was live texting from our friend group chat. Yo, your mom dropped her mug. Your dad looks like someone unplugged his brain. Caleb's about to combust. Iris James, from Westchester, New York, has been named this year's Rising Leader Award recipient, the anchor said. Her pioneering work in online activism has attracted global attention and praise from international policy leaders. The broadcast cut to my interview in front of the Eiffel Tower. I wore crimson, Caleb's favorite power color, just for emphasis. Success isn't about proving anyone wrong, I said, looking straight into the lens. It's about proving yourself right. Sometimes the people closest to you are the last to see your potential. That doesn't make it less real. Jamal's next message came seconds later. Holy. Caleb just stormed out. Your mom's calling the station to fix the story. Meanwhile, the local Facebook pages were blowing up. Wait, isn't that the James girl? Didn't their church say she was finding herself or whatever? My daughter went to school with her brother Caleb. There were always whispers. I watched the downfall unfold on social media like a live show. Caleb's curated golden boy image was coming apart at the seams, fast. You said she wasn't going anywhere. You said she'd crash and burn. Caleb's voice echoed through the house, according to Jamal's blow-by-blow group chat. Mom jumped into full PR mode. She posted in the church Facebook group, "So proud of our Iris. We've always supported her dreams." Proud mama. The comments were brutal. Wasn't she the daughter you said was lost just last week? Didn't Caleb say she abandoned the family? Pretty sure you told us she dropped out. Dad tried calling. Again. Iris, please. Think about your mother standing at church. Straight to voicemail. Caleb's follower count was free-falling. His latest weepy video about family loyalty backfired hard. Didn't you steal her passport? My cousin goes to your school. Everyone knows. Try building your own success instead of wrecking hers. He deleted the video. Then his whole account vanished. Eva found me on the apartment balcony, sipping coffee like it was popcorn. Your phone's been going off for an hour. Family implosion? Family drama, Karma edition, I said, showing her the latest article from our hometown outlet. They dug into my old academic records, perfect GPA, science fair medals, debate team titles. Every achievement my family once downplayed was now front page. Looks like your brother's church gig is in jeopardy, Eva added. They're reassessing due to character concerns. I didn't plan that, but karma doesn't wait for permission. Check this out, Eva said, holding up her phone. The program's PR team had just released my full tour schedule. I was set to speak at the European Parliament next month. Me, the black sheep, the runaway, then a new message from Mom. People are asking questions. Please call us. We can still explain everything. Then came Dad. This isn't very Christian of you, Iris. And finally, Caleb. You've ruined everything. I hope you're satisfied. I was. Eva poured 2 glasses of red and toasted, to watching them squirm. I corrected her. To living well, that's the only revenge I need. My phone buzzed again. Jamal this time. You gotta see this. He sent a video taken outside my parents' house. News vans lined the curb. A reporter was interviewing our nosy neighbor. They always favored the boy. That girl worked her heart out. Never got half the praise he did. The church board was launching an ethical review of the family's treatment of me. Mom had gone silent. Dad stopped returning calls. Caleb's friends? Posting vague stories about reevaluating who deserves loyalty. Their shiny church bulletin image was crumbling, and they had no one to blame but themselves. By the way, Eva said casually, the UN wants to extend your speaking tour. 3 more countries, everything covered. I imagined my family glued to every televised speech, each appearance a crack in the mask they'd worn for years. Each standing ovation, each headline, each accolade, another fracture in their make-believe legacy. When do we leave? I asked. Eva grinned. That's the spirit. Oh, and heads up. International press conference tomorrow. Want to send a little message home? I looked out at the Paris skyline. I remembered every time they told me to shrink, to stay put, to stop reaching. Just one, I said, opening my camera. Sometimes the black sheep was the only one who saw the truth all along. I posted a photo of me in front of the Louvre, crimson dress catching the last light of day, pride unapologetic in my smile. Let them scroll, let them stew, let them choke on every word. The press conference buzzed, cameras flashing, microphones clicking. Eva leaned in, whispering, "You're not just a fellow anymore. You're a movement now. Own it." Ms. Iris, a journalist called from the front row, your work in digital activism has earned praise from the UN, but your family story is going viral. Care to comment? I leaned in, thinking of all the times I'd been told to lower my voice, to not make waves. My story isn't rare. A lot of us grow up in families that confuse control with care. The difference? I stopped mistaking suppression for love. Your brother recently claimed you're twisting the narrative for attention. Any response? I think the facts speak louder, I said, clicking to a slide. Here's my academic record, here's my passport replacement timeline, and here, security footage of Caleb tampering with my science fair project. I didn't create this narrative. I just stopped protecting theirs. The room exploded in flashes and questions. The live stream chat from back home was going feral. Your parents say they supported you, another reporter pushed. But several church members are contradicting that. I have 18 years of receipts, I replied smoothly. You're welcome to review them. Back home, Caleb's carefully edited world was imploding. Jamal sent clips from Caleb's last youth group gathering. How can you preach integrity? One teen snapped. Didn't you steal your sister's passport? My mom says you shouldn't be our youth leader anymore. He ran out crying. For once, the waterworks weren't winning sympathy. Mom's desperate PR attempt, a long Facebook post about loving both our children equally, fell apart fast when someone posted screenshots of her calling me rebellious and confused just months ago. The church board launched an emergency review. Dad ghosted his usual prayer breakfast crew. Their social reputation, years in the making, was collapsing overnight. Breaking news pinged my phone. Global Youth Leadership Initiative expands. Iris James named program ambassador. Eva nudged me, eyes bright. They're offering you a full-time role after graduation. Diplomatic status and everything. I thought of all the times my parents said I couldn't survive without their guidance. Now I had a career path they couldn't even spell out loud. One last question, a reporter called. Your brother's recent video claims you're punishing the family. Is that true? No, I said, steady and unshaken. I'm not punishing anyone. I'm just succeeding, and they're not used to that. After the conference, Eva showed me the numbers. It wasn't just viral anymore. It was a movement. Why Black Sheep Succeed was trending worldwide. Check your inbox, Eva grinned. The White House Youth Leadership Summit wants you to keynote. I opened my laptop and found hundreds of messages. Young people spilling their own stories of silencing and survival. My family blocked me from applying. They said my brother was the one with potential. You gave me the courage to try anyway. Then I saw it. Family updates. An old email thread Mom used to send Caleb's wins to relatives. I'd never been mentioned. I hit reply all and dropped in my latest UN interview clip. Sometimes love doesn't feel like love. It feels like suffocation. Like dimming your light so someone else can shine. That's not love. That's control. That's abuse in disguise. Send. Within minutes, my inbox lit up. Relatives I hadn't heard from in years, suddenly finding their voices. We had no idea, one relative messaged. Your parents only ever talked about Caleb. This explains everything. Jamal's text popped up. Your mom left church crying. Pastor's wife wouldn't sit next to her. Caleb's out of the youth leadership team. His follow-up. Officially for personal reasons. Sure, I thought I'd feel vindicated. Instead, I felt weightless. Like I could finally breathe without apologizing for needing oxygen. Eva stepped into the room holding a folder. Contracts ready. The UN doesn't like to wait. As I signed my name, a final message popped up from Dad. We hope you find what you're looking for. No apology, no ownership, just emotional distance dressed up as concern. I typed back, already found it, found myself. The version you tried to bury, and she's magnificent. I turned to Eva. When's the flight to Geneva? Tomorrow morning, she grinned. The world's watching. Let them sit in their church basement circle and watch from the dark. Let them see what happens when you try to smother someone's light. I was done hiding. I was just getting warmed up. The grand ballroom shimmered with international glamour as I adjusted the mic. It had been 6 months since I escaped, and tonight was the summit of it all. The Rising Leader Award ceremony, broadcast live around the world. Ready? Eva asked, fixing a fold of my navy gown. Your family's watching. Jamal says they've gathered at your house again, elders and all. I smiled. Let them pray. I'm done shrinking to protect their comfort. The director stepped up. Tonight's recipient redefined what it means to overcome adversity. Please welcome Iris James. As I walked to the podium, I carried every eye roll, every sabotaged plan, every whispered, "Don't be so much." Not tonight. Most success stories begin with "I had a dream," I began. Mine starts with, "I had a backup passport." The audience chuckled, warm and intrigued. We talk about toxic relationships, I continued, but not enough about toxic love. The kind that clips your wings while saying it's for your safety, that crowns one child for mediocrity and punishes the other for excellence. I caught a few ambassadors in the crowd, leaning in, nodding like they'd lived it too. My brother stole my passport to stop me from being here. My parents backed him, called it divine intervention. But here's what they never understood. Sometimes love doesn't feel like love. It feels like fear in a gift box. Cameras panned the room. They said they were protecting me. In truth, they were protecting their comfort from the threat of my potential. My clutch buzzed. Jamal again. Your mom just walked out crying. Caleb's trying to live stream a rebuttal, but the app keeps crashing. To every young person being told to tone it down, to shrink, to stay small. You don't have to burn yourself to keep others warm. Your ambition isn't a threat, unless someone needs to control you. Eva flashed me a proud thumbs up from stage right. Tonight, I accept this award for every black sheep who said no to grazing where they were told. For every scapegoat who chose flight over silence. Applause swelled like a wave. And to my family, watching from the comfort of their denial, I paused, letting the silence sharpen the blow. Thank you. Your need to contain me only confirmed how much space I was born to fill. Your fear of my light only proved how blinding it could become. The standing ovation hadn't faded before the flashes began. At the reception, my phone buzzed nonstop, notifications stacking like confetti. Caleb had finally posted his damage control video. My sister's speech was a cruel attack on our loving family, he sniffled. We only ever wanted what was best for her. The comments didn't spare him. Still got that passport, bro? Thought you believed in family values? The video vanished in under 10 minutes. Eva returned with a group of UN staffers in tow. They want to send you global, Asia, Africa, Latin America. Your story's hitting like wildfire. Another text from Mom. We hope you find what you're looking for. Same vague guilt-wrapped nonsense. Still no apology. Still no accountability. I passed the phone to Eva. Block all their numbers. You sure? She asked. I nodded. They're not watching to understand. They're waiting for me to fail. I'm done tap dancing for people who only clap when I shrink. A reporter slid in with a final question. What's your proudest moment on this journey? I thought of the terrified girl who stashed a backup passport, the sister who kept quiet while her brother tore her down, the daughter told to dream smaller. That I got here without anyone's permission, I said, even when they swore I didn't belong. After the press cleared out, Ava joined me on the balcony. You're trending globally, she said. They're calling you the voice of your generation. And my family? I asked. Eva grinned. Your aunt called the office. Your parents are stepping down from church leadership to focus on healing. I laughed. Translation? They're ducking the blowback. Caleb had been booted from his youth pastor post, lost his brand deals, and that golden boy aura was gone. Turns out karma reads receipts, not prayer chains. Eva clinked her glass to mine. To the black sheep, I grinned. To freedom, and to never looking back. Below us, Paris shimmered like 1,000 open doors. Somewhere in Westchester, my family was probably rewriting the story again, this time about their estranged daughter. But I wasn't lost. I was exactly where I belonged. For the first time ever. and I'd never make myself small again for anyone. In Geneva, I curled up on the hotel couch, answering questions for a global youth mag. The last question stopped me cold. Was revenge worth losing your family? Eva glanced over. Skip that one, if you want. Number I need to. I typed, revenge implies spite. I simply stopped mistaking control for love. The real question isn't about revenge. It's whether freedom is worth the cost of walking away. It is. My phone lit up. Jamal had sent a clip. My parents' church was dividing over family values. Even the same pastor who once praised them had publicly criticized their parenting. Your mom tried another church, Jamal texted. They Googled her. I didn't feel triumphant, just still, not angry, not proud, just free. Knock at the door. Miss Iris? UN Secretary General moved your meeting up. Cars outside. Eva grabbed her tablet. Time to rewrite some rules? Almost. I turned to finish typing. Success isn't revenge. It's proof their limits were never mine. Their small dreams weren't my ceiling. Their fear wasn't my future. In the hotel lobby, diplomats moved like clockwork. Near the elevators, I noticed a mother and son arguing, the son's voice soft, uncertain. But I don't want to be a lawyer, the girl said, her voice trembling. I want to study art. This conversation is over, her mother snapped. You're not breaking family tradition over a silly hobby. Excuse me, I cut in before I could stop myself. They both turned. Recognition hit like a wave. You're that girl, the mother muttered. The one whose family tried to stop her from flying. That's me, I nodded, turning to the daughter. Let me guess. They say it's for your protection. The girl nodded, her eyes glassy with held-back tears. Protection that feels like a cage isn't love. It's control with a pretty label, I said. I handed her my card. Email me. I know a few incredible art schools in Paris. The mother opened her mouth, ready to argue, then hesitated. Something softened in her expression. Back in the car, Eva raised an eyebrow. That was unexpected. Maybe that's what real revenge looks like, I said. Helping the next girl escape before she has to burn everything down. My phone buzzed. Caleb had posted for the first time in months. To my sister, the caption read. I'm sorry. No theatrics, no excuses, just, I was wrong. The comments rolled in. Respect. This feels real. Everyone makes mistakes. Glad he owned it. I clicked his profile. His bio now read, learning to celebrate light without trying to extinguish it. Are you going to respond? Ava asked gently. No, I said, slipping my phone into my coat. His growth is his to manage now. I've done enough carrying.